exhaust, miscellaneous, and dry sump tank. Um, I had a few friends visiting, so they helped me with this session. I was attempting to get the springs for the catalytic converter on and install the dry sump tank. I also wanted to get the rest of the exhaust on, the exit, but I was missing one of the brackets for the car, so I'm waiting for that to be shipped to me, so I couldn't finish that. The springs that hold the cat to the primaries are extremely tight. A typical recommendation I've seen is to use zip ties to compress the spring to the maximum. But even with that, the loops that go on the hooks for the exhaust were still a few millimeters from being able to reach over the hooks. Um, there's two things I noticed about the hooks. One, both set of the hooks have like a directionality to them. If you hook them from one side, it's easier than hooking them from the other side. And then the bottom set of hooks, the way the hook pins are, they're aligned kind of weird so that the loops don't really neatly just loop over them. You have to kind of bend it a little bit. So the bottom set of hooks are actually quite a bit harder to install than the top set of hooks. Um, I tried using pliers, and we tried just pulling them over. It's really, really hard to stretch metal a few millimeters. So my wife had a really good idea, which was to tie some rope to one of the loops, hook the other side of the loop on, and just pull really hard. This actually worked for us, but it was still pretty difficult. The top set of hooks, uh, we pulled pretty hard. It took just a couple of minutes to get on, but the bottom set of hooks took longer because of the way the pins were angled. We snapped quite a few sets of string trying to do that, but we eventually got it on after quite a bit of trying. Um, After that, I talked to my dealer. He says sometimes it gets pretty tough and he'll end up cutting one or two of the spring coils just to get some extra spacing. Another blog I read said that you can sort of the hooks hook onto the spring. They said you can remove those hooks from the spring just so that they're not hampered by the spring. You can loop them around the hooks on the exhaust, and then you could still have enough space to put the other side of the hooks back onto the spring. Uh, we were already done with this step by the time I read this blog, so I didn't get to try it. But if you were installing it for the first time, this might be where to start because if it works for you, that would be the easiest way to do it. We also installed the dry sump. The manual shows the P clips going on the X crossbar of the chassis. This was not the case for my 420R. Mine came with a set of larger P clips that go on the thicker bar, the one that's in the middle of the X. It's parallel to the radiator. Once I figured that out, it was very straightforward to secure the dry sump to the chassis. I also installed the temp sender at the bottom of the dry sump. It came with a screw that was already in, but I removed it and I put in the temp sender thinking it would seal better. But that's, I guess, not the case. I've heard from my friend I actually need to get some pipe thread sealant to fully seal it off. So that's what I will be doing next time.